What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 478th edition of TSR Live. It is Monday, July the 1st, 2019. July is one of my favorite months of the year. Hot dogs, hamburgers, fireworks, hot dog eating contests, all-star games, home run derbies, and all the rest of that. July is one of my favorite months of the year. Good to have you guys in today on a Monday. We are streaming live to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So however you're watching, wherever you're watching from, thank you for making the Sharpe reality a part of your daily routine. All right, let's get right to it. A patron, my patron, who goes by the name of Chris S., submitted an article, and I'm going to bring it up here in just a second, submitted an article entitled What the Ciaras, Cassies, and Karrueches of the world have shown us about moving on and moving up. This particular article is glorifying the dualistic sexual strategy of women in the manosphere we like to call alpha Fs, keeping it YouTube friendly, and beta bucks. Another way to say it is alpha seed, beta need. And it's the typical arc of attractive women. This is what this woman, Nicole, is glorifying. The typical arc of the attractive American woman is she sleeps with all the bad boys in your 20s, you have a kid or two or three, then you find a man who is willing to wife her up and take care of her illegitimate kids, and oh, by the way, might spit out one of that guy's kids on her own, or on his own, to make sure she locks him down. Well, gentlemen, Ciara just pulled off this trick with one Russell Wilson. And listen, I'm going to give her credit. I'm going to give credit where credit's due. I'm not hating on these women, all right? Certainly not going to hate on Ciara. She knows the game. She knows how the game is played, and she pulled it off. She played it to perfection. But Russell Wilson is utterly clueless that Ciara does not love him like she loved Future. She doesn't love him like she loved 50 Cent or Amari Stoudemire or any of the other alpha dudes that she dated before she ended up with him. She's attracted to Russell Wilson. She's attracted to his respect for her. She's attracted to his stability. She's attracted to his polish. But she is aroused by Future. She is aroused, or she was aroused, probably still is aroused by 50 Cent. You guys are going to see that a little bit later on. So let's go ahead and start reading this. And I'm going to break this down as I always do. I have to admit, she says, I'm not someone who obsesses over or relies heavily on celebrity hookups and marriages. Let me stop right there. You're a woman. You obsess over celebrity marriages. Already she started. Well, listen, I'm not one to obsess over celebrity marriages, yet here she is, Russell Wilson and Ciara on the cover. Women always try to deny what they really are. You're the typical female. You obsess over this stuff. It is what it is. So you can already see the snowflaking by the author. So anyway, she says, celebrity hookups, marriages, and love stories as a guide for my own relationships, considering the fact that their lifestyles are quite different from mine. Not to mention, you never truly know what goes on behind closed doors, whether they're famous or not. I'll give her credit here. She understands that celebrity relationships are different from the relationships of the average Joes and Janes. I will give her credit for that. However, she continues, we are often reminded of the fact that celebrities are human beings just like us. I'm going to take that credit back. So she says, I realize that celebrities are different, but they're human beings just like us. Listen, just because they're human beings doesn't mean that their situations are anything like ours. Doesn't mean their circumstances are anything like ours, except, of course, for hypergamy. Alpha Fs, beta bucks, alpha seed, beta need. At times, she continues, and unfortunately at their expense, we witness their heartache, loss, and drama for all the world to see. But just as much as we cry and empathize when celebrities experience tough times, we also celebrate when we see them overcoming obstacles, relishing in their success, or even enjoying a new chance of love. Case in point, she says, Ciara walked away from what she thought was her future and walked the love of her life through Russell Wilson. Karrueche's ex desperately tried to get her attention, but now she's the center of attention on screen and off with former baller Victor Cruz. Victor Cruz used to play wide receiver for the New York Giants. Cassie was with Diddy, but now she's blessed to be with child with her new beau, Alex Fine. Hence, from the outside looking in, there is so much we can learn from these ladies' experience and so many other non-celebrities, including myself, and their willingness to move on. Now, when she says that you don't know what happens behind closed doors, this is her saying there's always more to the story to disqualify what we see with our own two eyes. Gossip columnists, they do this all the time. Then she says, in walked the love of her life, Russell Wilson. Gentlemen, I'm here to tell you, Russell Wilson is not the love of Ciara's life. Let's get that right. The love of her life was Future, the one bad boy she had a kid with. I love how women who know the game and know how the game is played, I love how they try to characterize it this way. In walked the love of her life in Russell Wilson to try to trick men into thinking that being a good guy will also get them a Ciara and that they will be lucky to have her. Let's take a look at these couples' ages. Russell Wilson is 30, Ciara 33. Victor Cruz is 32, Karrueche Chan 31. Alex Fine is 26, Cassie Ventura is 32. You guys notice anything about the ages? Anybody? All of the men are in their late 20s to early 30s, and all of the women are in their early 30s. Gentlemen, make no mistake, this is no accident. This is not a coincidence. These women know the game. They didn't go after men who were in their late 30s and early 40s. Why? Because men in that age range, gentlemen, they know the game. And they know that that's when their value is at the highest. Women who have just hit the wall would like to target these guys, late 30s, early 40s, and a lot of them do shoot their shot. But they end up getting shot down because these men who are in their late 30s, early 40s, they understand their value. Russell Wilson, Victor Cruz, and Alex Fine don't know their value yet. They know that they have value, but they're not even close to being aware of the fact that they're at the dawn of their sexual primes. Ciara, Karrueche Chan, and Cassie know this. These men do not. That is not an accident, gentlemen. This is by design. Understand this, guys. Females are always one step ahead of men who do not know the game. These three men, Russell Wilson, Alex Fine, Victor Cruz, they are the equivalent of girls who are 15, maybe 16 years old. They're at the dawn of their sexual primes, but they're not quite aware yet. At 14 years old, they start to notice that men, males, boys, men treat them a little bit differently, right? All of a sudden, men and boys are nice to me, and I haven't really done anything yet. When they turn 15 years old, they start to suspect why they might be doing this. At 16, they figure it out. They figure out, holy smokes, the reason why these men and boys are being so nice to me, giving me all of this attention and commitment and affection, is because they want to have sex with me. And that, gentlemen, as soon as a female figures out that men want to have sex with her, the maturation process stops. And I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but stay with me because I'm going to bring this back around. A female's ultimate goal is male commitment and male resources. That's what it is. I don't care what women say. I don't care what movies and television says. No, that is a female's ultimate goal. Yasmin Seibu said it best. I determine my value by my ability to get and keep a man of value. These women are no different. So when men offer a woman, when they offer her commitment and resources simply because she is, there is no reason for her to learn to cook. There is no reason for her to learn to be pleasant. There is no reason for her to learn anything for that matter. All she has to be is female and attractive, mildly attractive, and she can get whatever she wants. Think about the average 28-year-old woman who is still attractive. She's close to the wall, but she's not quite there yet. But that woman, that 28-year-old woman, she still acts like she's 16 years old. Well, why does she act like she's 16 years old? Because it was at 16 years old when she figured out that men want to sleep with her. So she stopped maturing. She'll start to mature again when the attention starts to dwindle from those same high-value men. Only then will it click, and she'll think, oh, okay, I can no longer just show up and get whatever I want. I have to be pleasant. I have to be obedient. I have to pretend like I'm traditional. I have to learn how to cook. Got it. These men, Victor Cruz, Russell Wilson, Alex Fine, they are at these beginning stages, guys. They haven't figured out that beautiful women will be throwing themselves at their feet in about 5 years or so. And this is exactly why these women, Ciara, Karrueche, and Cassie, targeted these men at this age. It's no accident that they're all in their mid to late 20s to early 30s. Think about this. This is why The Bachelorette never has male contestants over the age of 35. Think about it. Men who are over the age of 35, they understand their value. And they're not going to put up with some 20-something shenanigans and compete with other guys for a chance to be engaged with an ill-behaved, ill-tempered female who sleeps around. Oh no. This is why they select men, the Bachelorette producers, this is why they select men who are in their mid to late 20s. These are men who don't get it, at least not yet. They want to lock these men down before they have that aha moment when it hits them and they think, holy smokes, I'm far more attractive at 38 than I ever was at 28. You know, I was beginning to wonder why these 19, 20, and 21-year-old girls were throwing themselves at me. Now I know why. Well, by that time, it's too late for women. By the time these men figure this out, it's too late for women like Cassie and Ciara. So what did they do? They made sure they got with these guys just before they figured it out. And then they went and got pregnant ASAP to lock themselves in and to further trap these dudes. And these guys have no clue. They have no clue, man. This is the real reason women like Nicole, this is the real reason why women rejoice over stories like these, because these chicks mastered the game. They figured it out. They messed with the bad boys during their prime years, then settled down with a high-value man just in time. Just in time. So let's take a look at how these women are gloating over open hypergamy, shall we? Let's go to number 1. There are 10 of these. For every man that won't, there's another one that will. She says, quote, I think we can all agree that Russell Wilson was more than ready and willing to be and do for Ciara what her exes weren't willing to be. He appears to not only be good for her, but good to her, but good for her. The same is likely true for Cassie and Karrueche. At least I know it was for me when I met my husband also. I've said it a million times, but it's so true. If a man wants to be with you, then he'll be with you, period. So for every man that won't, another man will. Ciara has a very long and distinguished dating history. She's dated Future. She's dated Amari Stoudemire, Trey Songz, 50 Cent. All these dudes knew the game. They knew the game. This is why they didn't wife up Ciara. Right? Future put a baby in her, didn't wife her up. Russell Wilson, on the other hand, got cheated on by his ugly ex-wife, who cheated on him with Golden Tate, who was his teammate at the time. These men didn't do it. These men didn't do for these women, not because they're bad guys. No, they didn't do for these women because they know Ciara's been passed around. They knew better to commit to her and acted accordingly. Women like Amber Rose, all of a sudden she can't find a man. Well, is it any wonder you can't find a man? You've dated every rapper and professional athlete. You let them all skeet on you, and now you wonder why men won't take you seriously. Russell Wilson got the leftovers, guys. Every picture she's in with Russell Wilson, she is leaning away from him. Let me show you something here. I'm just going to give you guys a quick little slideshow. Look at the top of your screen. There's Russell Wilson leaning in. Ciara is leaning away from Russell Wilson. That is not arousal, gentlemen. Let's take a look at another picture. This is her with 50. Look how she leans in. She's got a look on her face like the cat that ate the canary. Actually, 50 looks like he's got the face of the cat that ate the canary. Ciara's like, oh my God, look how lucky I am. She's leaning into him. Body language. Look at the glow in her skin. Let's go to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is looking at the camera. He's still leaning into Ciara. Ciara is doing her best. Dude, if she turns her neck any further away from Russell, she's going to break her neck. Look at that fake smile. Oh, I'm so happy. I hope that this $1 million smile fools them into thinking that I'm actually happy with this schlub. Let's go back to 50. Oh, look at this. Now she's leaning into 50. Let's go back. Oh, hold on a second. Let's go back. Turning away from Russell Wilson. Now she's leaning into 50. I have not seen one picture of Ciara leaning into Russell Wilson. Attraction, arousal. Let's look at another picture. Look at this. Russell Wilson has his hands on her belly. You are the mother of my child. Ciara still can't lean into him. True to form, Russell Wilson is leaning in. Look at her. And the only reason she's smiling is because she's with child. That's that motherly glow. She actually looks genuinely happy, but it's not because she's with Russell. It's because she's with child, as every mother. Look at this. Look at these smiles. Let's just go back. Look, that ain't no smile. That is a smile. That's not a smile. That's a fake smile, guys. She is not happy. She's happy she's with him for those financial reasons, but oh no, this is a woman who has given her mind, body, and soul to someone. Look at this. That is pure, unadulterated sexual attraction. Dude, she looks like she's ready to go down on him right now. And look at this picture. Ciara looks almost upset. She almost looks mad that she's with Russell Wilson. Guys, listen, man. I had Jonathan from Modern Life Dating on yesterday. Body language doesn't lie, guys. Every picture Ciara's in with Russell Wilson, she is leaning away from him. A lot of guys say women always win in the end, right? Guys like Karrueche, as a matter of fact, he's going to be in Philly here in a few days. He and I are going to hang out here pretty soon. Guys like Karrueche have said, well, there's always going to be another guy who's going to be there. This is true. But here's what they're not telling you. Here's what the Nicoles and the Yasmin Sebus of the world are not telling you. These guys aren't the men they want. They're the men that they have to settle with. So they can be all like, well, if one man won't, another man will. But that other man that will is also the other man she hopes won't ask her to give him oral sex or have the audacity to want to have sex with her 3 times a week. I mean, my God, that's so many times. These chicks out here acting like 50 Cent won't. Let me go back. These chicks are out here acting like, okay, well, if 50 Cent won't, then 50 Cent will. Nah, bruh. It don't work that way. For every man that won't, there's another lame that will. That's the correct saying there. And when they say that if a man wants to be with you, he'll be with you, translation. If a man wants to bow down to you, submit to your every whim, never call you out on your BS, and let you get away with whatever you want to, then he'll be with you. Gentlemen, please like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. My channel does not grow without you guys sharing my video, so text your friends. Blast us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Get the word out, guys. Likes and shares are free, so get the word out. Make sure you also sign up for my newsletter to stay in the know on all things Donovan Sharpe. And if you have a show idea, if you see a video, if you see a blog post, or something on social media, hit me, tsr@donovansharpe.com. Again, that is tsr@donovansharpe.com. Or you can go to the contact tab on my website, donovansharpe.com, or donovansharpe.com/contact. If you want even more content, sign up for my Patreon. As a patron, you will get access to my call-in show Monday through Thursday evenings at 6:30 exclusively on Patreon. I'm probably going to be on a little bit early today, probably between 5 and 5:30. So for all my patrons watching this, I'm going to be on a little early today. On my evening shows, guys, I take your phone calls, answer your questions, I converse with you guys. I'm actually working on getting a few guests that I can hopefully book for this coming week, so stay tuned for that. If you are watching on Facebook or Twitter, this is the end of the line for you. But if you want to watch the rest of the show, come on over to YouTube like all the other normal people. I don't know why anybody watches anything on Facebook or Twitter. Like, be like a normal person. Come on over to YouTube. Shout out to Roadmaster1 with the big $100 donation. Greatly appreciate that, my friend. Left a message with his $100 donation. He said, quote, "The way you handled the O'Shea situation was very classy. Donovan has all the classy and Devin has all the assy." Appreciate that. Roadmaster1 with the $100 donation. Again, if you guys want to contribute or donate like Roadmaster1, you guys can go to, actually go to, streamlabs.com/DonovanSharpe1. Again, that is streamlabs.com/DonovanSharpe and the number 1. Okay, let's continue. Number 2, she says, be courageous enough to walk away knowing that another one will come along to stay. A good man, she says, can't occupy space in your life if it's already taken by someone else. Society and statistics will tell you that the odds are stacked against you, and the ratio of women to men makes it nearly impossible to experience true love with a good man. However, she says, don't let societal pressures or the fear of being alone keep you trapped in a toxic relationship for the sake of saying that you're in a relationship. With God, she says, oh, Jesus Christ, anything is possible. Besides, as black women and men, we've been defying statistics since the beginning of time. Ah, Nicole, the odds are stacked against you, baby girl. You see, ladies, you have a finite number of years to lock down a man of high value, and it has nothing to do with male to female ratios. It has everything to do with the fact that after you hit the wall, your options are limited. Let's talk about a toxic relationship as defined by feminism these days. A toxic relationship is a relationship where a man actually holds you accountable. A toxic relationship is one where a man holds you to a high standard and never compromises. A toxic relationship is a relationship where it's easy for you to cheat. He has to see your phone. OMG, he's toxic. He told you he'd leave if you got fat. OMG, you're in a toxic relationship. A healthy relationship is when a man lets you do whatever you want. He lets you go to the club every Friday night. Girl, that's a healthy relationship if he lets you go to the club every Friday night. He doesn't trip when you text your ex. He doesn't trip when you text your baby daddy. Baby girl, he's a keeper. That's a healthy relationship you got there. Toxic is whatever keeps women from engaging in behaviors that threaten your relationship. Period. And here we go with the with God and anything is possible. Sweet mercy. Here we go. Listen, how many times do I have to tell you people? How many times do I have to tell women that God ain't got nothing to do with you finding and keeping a man? You do. Keep God out of this and keep your legs closed. Give me a break. Number 3. But I've invested so much time in the relationship is not a legitimate excuse to remain in a toxic relationship that no longer serves you. Ooh. She says, quote, when it no longer serves a purpose for your life, it then becomes a waste of time for you and the other person. Life is too short to be wasting it on people and things that are toxic to your life. Just like with any financial investment, if it no longer provides a positive return, then it's time to move your money. Similarly, if the relationship no longer provides positive results for your life, then it may be time to move on, just like Ciara, Cassie, and Karrueche did. No longer serves a purpose in your life. Wow. Wow. Gentlemen, if that doesn't speak to the outright solipsistic, narcissistic vapidity of today's women, I don't know what does. And let's talk about this financial investment. This is a bad analogy. It's so cute when women try to act like they know how money works. You see, what she leaves out about investments and mutual funds is that the market goes through streaks, peaks, and valleys, which means that it's not always going to give you the same return. But that doesn't mean you go off and sell the stock. No, sweetheart. You hang on to it according to the directive of your overall portfolio, right? With men, is a little bit different. A little bit different, boo. By simply being with me, by simply being with a man of value, guess what? That is a positive return, sweetheart. A man of high value is your best option, which means by virtue of him deciding to keep you around, you are getting a positive ROI. By the way, that is return on investment, ladies. And by the way, Ciara, Cassie, and Karrueche, they didn't decide to move their money. Oh, no, that's not how this went. They knew their money was about to be moved to a lower tier investment opportunity. So rather than waiting to be moved, they opted out and got up with that hot new startup investment firm with a great financial outlook and great financial backing, and it appears to have worked out for all three. This is hypergamy personified, gentlemen. Again, give credit where credit's due. These women knew the game. They played the game. They're winning. I'm not mad at these women. They're winning. Let's move to number 4. You can find the good in goodbye. I know, she says, I'm not the only one who can look back and say to myself, had I stayed, or thank goodness that ended, or I dodged a bullet. There's a liberating feeling, she continues, knowing that what you once thought was the best thing in your life became the best thing when it was actually removed from your life. You never know. Your new and better beginning could be on the other side of that painful ending. Guys, this literally does not mean a damn thing. Doesn't mean anything. There's nothing profound or introspective about this. Finding the good in goodbye, that's the same old multi-level marketing talk where people use slogans and acronyms and poetic symmetry to bypass people's, mostly women's, common sense to have them believe in some BS they're trying to peddle. This chick wanted to use "you can find the good in goodbye" in an article, and it's clear because this paragraph means absolutely nothing. I have no idea what this means. She just wanted to use this, "well, you can find the good in goodbye." Number 5, sometimes the very thing or person you're holding on to is the very thing that is holding you back. Erykah Badu said it best. She continues, quote, "Bag lady, you gonna hurt your back, dragging all those bags like that." It's that baggage, she says, in dead weight that keeps us bound to toxic people in relationships. As my dear friend Natalie once told me, quote, "Some people are tied to your dysfunction, not your destiny. Hence, sometimes people have to walk away in order for you to walk into your destiny." Again, gentlemen, this is that poetic symmetry nonsense, holding on to, holding back. Then her homegirl doubled down and used dysfunction and destiny. This is how females operate, guys. If it rhymes, if it sounds good lyrically, or if it has some sort of metrical, symbolic, linguistic flow, women take it as the gospel truth, no matter how devoid it is of common sense and wisdom. Let's take a look at dysfunction here. Women are naturally dysfunctional, gentlemen. This is how they are born. Women are self-destructive by their very nature. This is why the sexual marketplace is a shit show right now. We've got women, the sexual marketplace is run by women. Let's not get that twisted. We got women out here telling people that their body counts don't define them. Even though she admits to adding 10 dudes per orgy she attends and setting up multiple meetups in one night. That was back in episode 477. Kelly Tyler, be sure to check that out. And bring a barf bag while you're at it. We've got men out here thinking that requiring a woman to give up girls' night out, give up social media, and give up maintaining relationships and friendships with their exes is insecure behavior rather than territorial behavior, and it's toxic and unhealthy. Females are in control of the sexual marketplace. And because of their inherent dysfunction and their inherent self-destructive tendencies, things are the worst they've ever been between men and women. Here's another thing. Let me just throw another log into the fire here. Females have no destiny. Are you kidding me? Females only have destiny. Their only destiny is whatever their men have. That's it. Women aren't leaders, guys. They're followers, and they are happy to follow if you're the right man. Saying a woman has a destiny is like saying a man can have a baby. Neither one is possible. Get out of here with that. Number 6, whoever you give your heart to, make sure they're ready and have the capacity to receive it. There's Rihanna asking if you're ready. I wonder how many men she's asked that to. Rihanna's been ran through, y'all. Man, oh man, she's hitting the wall hard. This gentleman is called, oh, I'm sorry, let me read this first. It says, quote, "We are often disappointed when we give our hearts to those who never asked for it. Some people aren't ready for it, nor do they deserve all the love you have to give. The one who is ready and willing to receive your love will be ready and willing to show you love." This, gentleman, is called game. You see, a man in demand knows that if he angles for commitment first, then all of his leverage goes right out the door. He knows that as soon as he asks the girl that he is dating to be his girlfriend, he knows that he relinquishes the right to express his requirements for his commitment. Because he knows this, he waits her out because he knows his value is higher than hers. And what ends up happening is that the girl gives him her heart, thinking that's enough to get his commitment in return. Instead, he withholds his commitment until she proves that she can offer him more than just sex, something he can get from just about any woman. This is what men of value do. This is what men who understand that a set of boobs and 3 openings ain't enough to secure his commitment. So women who run into guys like these are always shocked because they're used to getting every man's commitment for nothing but their presence and their occasional sexual availability. And in their defense, who can blame them for being surprised, right? I mean, why would we expect women to be okay with having to work for something they've been getting for free their entire adult lives? Like, I can't blame them for that. But that doesn't mean that we have to lower our standards just because they throw a fit. So after a year and a half, she finally leaves because she knows she doesn't have what it takes to meet his standards. And when she tells her friends that she finally left, she'll characterize it as, well, he didn't reciprocate my level of commitment, when in actuality, she didn't reciprocate his level of value. And that, my friends, is why he didn't commit. So when women talk about giving their hearts to those who never ask for it, they are talking about the men who require a hell of a lot more than good looks and good sex to take a woman off the market. Number 7, God is never late. Oh, here we go. God is never late. Timing is everything to us, but there's a quote that says God doesn't wear a watch. His timing isn't like ours, and truth be told, we are not always prepared for what we ask for. Nevertheless, we have to trust that even if what we pray for doesn't happen exactly when or how we expect it, God can still provide exactly what we need when we need it. Now we're bringing in God as all females do. Let's do a little womanese translation here, guys, shall we? God doesn't wear a watch. Translation: if God doesn't know what time it is for me to settle down, then neither do I, so I will continue to sleep around until God tells me it's time. Here's another one. His timing isn't like ours. Translation: how was I supposed to know that God sent me a good man when I was getting passed around? His timing isn't like mine, so how could I possibly know? Here's another one. God can still provide exactly what we need when we need it. Translation: what I need is a man to rescue me from my bad decisions when my looks start to fade. And when he does, I can let everyone know that God is never late. Number 8. You'll know a man is no longer interested in playing games when it's obvious he's not playing with your heart. There's a difference, she says, between a man who only says he's sorry and a man whose words are supported by his actions. Changed behavior is evidence of a real apology. Moreover, a man after God's own heart will take care of yours. What she's talking about here, guys, is being rewarded for failing a masculinity test or a fitness test. Now, there are other colorful ways to describe this test, but I'm trying to keep it YouTube friendly, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I've discussed before on this show that a man should never, ever say the words, "I'm sorry," to a woman. Even if you get caught cheating, which I'm guessing is what Nicole is talking about when she's whining about men who are sorry versus men who are not. Women think they want you to change your behavior, but they really don't. Men who live life unapologetically, they keep these women around the longest. Okay? Being sorry for anything at all, whether what you did was legit, wrong, or not, always reduces a woman's attraction for you, always. Yes, gentlemen, changed behavior is evidence of a real apology. But you want to know what else it's evidence for? It's evidence of a man who acquiesces to the whims and tears of a woman. It's evidence of a man who always allows a woman's flurry of emotions to control his behavior. I'm here to tell you guys, women are neither attracted nor aroused by this behavior in the long run. Most men don't want to lose the battle to win the war. They want to take the easy way out and console her and assuage her now so she stops crying and throwing a fit now. But what these men don't realize is that for every apology, she loses attraction until she's up under somebody who is as unapologetic as you were. I'm not even going to address this whole after God's own heart, because we all know that's nothing but BS, right? Besides, I mean, if we're keeping it real, women wouldn't know a man after God's own heart if he walked up and hit her in the face with a Bible. They have no idea what that phrase means, but they love to say it because it makes them sound like virtuous, God-fearing women. Get out of here with that. You don't know get out of here with that. Number 9, for every heartbreak experienced, God can heal you that much more. It says, I'm sure at some point, Ciara, Cassie, and Karrueche probably thought, when will the tears subside? When will this heartache end? It's difficult to see the light when you're in it, but the sun always finds a way to shine after the rain. I can imagine that for them, as it has been for me. Their past hurt eventually became like a distant memory once they were able to move on and heal. Guys, I'm here to tell you, the more heartbreak a woman suffers, the more scorned and jaded she becomes, period. And for the love of God, can we stop talking about God healing you after all this fornication and sleeping around? We got all these women out here sleeping around, shaking their butts at the club, having all these kids with 8 different men, talking about God is good all the time. What sense does that make? If you're going to sleep around, then leave God out of your life. Nobody buys that you go to church or can recite Bible verses if you're sleeping around. Get out of here with that. Number 10, last but certainly not least, when we release old stuff, it creates space for something new. She says, quote, whether people are removed from our lives by force or choice, it frees up space around us and within us, physically, mentally, spiritually, and emotionally. No longer are we considered emotionally unavailable. Rather, the extra space opens ourselves to receive and experience more of what God has for us. Jesus Christ. Nobody truly knows what the future holds for Ciara, Cassie, or Karrueche, or anyone for that matter. But while they're in this winning season, let's continue cheering them on from the sidelines. May their stories, as well as so many others, serve as hope and inspiration to live your best, purposeful life despite your hurts, and more importantly, regardless of your relationship status. Gentlemen, what she just said right there, while they're in this winning season, may their stories, as well as so many others, serve as hope and inspiration to live your best purposeful life. Translation. Let's all celebrate the fact that these women were able to have their cake and eat it too. Let's all celebrate the fact that it is possible to sleep around through your 20s and then manage to lock down a high value male who doesn't know any better. Let's all celebrate the fact that these women have pulled off both sides of the dualistic sexual strategies of women, right? Dude, women can't have it both ways. You just can't have it. Every once in a while, you get a Ciara, a Cassie, or a Karrueche who gets lucky and ends up with guys who don't really know any better. But for the rest of y'all, it ain't happening that way. This woman said, this is funny. This woman said at the top of this article, she says, I am not one who obsesses over or relies heavily on celebrity hookups, marriages, and love stories as a guide for my own relationships. And then right here at the very bottom, she says, may their stories serve as hope and inspiration to live your best purposeful life despite your hurts. She isn't, again, the reason she wrote this article is she's saying, ladies, it can happen. It's possible. You can sleep around all through your 20s. You can have illegitimate kids, and you can still end up with a high value male and be rescued from your bad decisions. There's just one problem. You ain't a celebrity. And even if you're a celebrity, that definitely does not guarantee that you're going to end up with someone just by virtue of you having access to high value males. Okay, listen, ask Janet Jackson, right? Ask Charlize Theron. She's 40 something years old, wondering why dudes don't want to date her anymore. Ask Uma Thurman. Uma Thurman finally hooked up with Quentin Tarantino. Yeah, 15 years past the wall. Women need to understand you cannot have it both ways. Just because a celebrity or a singer or someone who's in the public eye successfully pulls off both sides of the dualistic sexual strategy of women, also known as hypergamy, doesn't mean you can. 99.9% of women don't pull this off, guys. These women got lucky and ended up with high value guys who don't know any better. You plain Janes out here, you ignorant women out here, you guys ain't gonna be that lucky, not even close. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.